What's up guys, I wasn't going to make a video on this, I actually already fixed the problem. However, in the process I did destroy my tachometer. So I got a new one and we're going to be putting that in, and I figured, you know what, since I got to take the gauge out again, might as well show you guys what I did to fix my problem. Since I got the car, every now and then the tachometer would just start bouncing around. When I first got the car it wasn't too bad, it happened just like every now and then, maybe like once or twice in the first like 2 months, and recently it happened every single time I got in the car. So I took it all apart and I found a lot of this orange like corrosion stuff on the actual like circuit board, and that's definitely not good. That's not supposed to be there. Once I cleaned it up, everything was good. I just had to put the needle back on to where it lined up correctly and was reading correctly, but now it has to all come out again. So let's take it out and then I'll show you guys how it looks after it's been cleaned. So if you've never taken the gauge cluster out, it's actually pretty simple. There's just a bunch of Phillips screws you have to take out. There's one here, there's like 5 or 6 on the bottom. You have to undo the 2 bolts holding the hood release, and then you have to take off all this plastic. It's easier if you tilt the steering wheel all the way down and then pull this out, and then the actual cluster is just held in with 4 screws, and you'll have to unplug all of these, but it's pretty simple. So now that we got it off, we have to take the plastic out. So there's just little tabs around the top, and there's some on the bottom as well. And you just pop them out. Cool, and there we go, plastic's out. And we have to do the same thing to get this plastic out. But as you can see, look at that. I tried cleaning it because I had some scratches on it and some dirt. It didn't go well, so this is gonna go there. So that's the only thing that sucks. It's darker than the rest of the gauges, but it's okay. It also doesn't have all the little lines. It just has one right in the middle. That's unfortunate, but it's gonna work. Now we have to take these 3 off, and that's all that holds the tachometer in. So now we have to pull this guy out. It just kind of pops off like that, and take these 2 screws out. So here's the circuit board for the tachometer. You can see I cleaned up everything. I just used a razor blade and just kind of scraped it away. Made sure to not cut, to not actually like gouge into the circuit board, but just like scrape along the surface. And that cleaned everything up. And it's been 5 or 6 days since I did that. I haven't had any bouncing in the RPMs. I'll put pictures up of how it is now and how it used to look like so you guys can see. So now I need to pop this little guy out. It looks like you just kind of squeeze the 2 on the back and it should pop out. So I'm going to give it a shot. So we got the little stop for the needle on. So now we can put this back together. This plastic piece goes on like this. This bottom piece kind of sits on top of the clock. And then this guy goes on here. And we put the 2 screws back, and then we will put the needle on. One thing that I kind of want to do later down the line is see if I can find any aftermarket gauges that are this size and put some digital ones. I think that would be really cool, give it still the nice OEM look, and there's plenty of room in this housing area. Might have to trim some stuff up, but like with my 240, I have an AEM dash, and I just gutted this entire thing and mounted it inside here, and that came out really nicely. But I don't really want to do that with this car. I'd like to keep the factory cluster, but I'd like to just update some things, like get a different boost gauge, get a better oil pressure gauge that's digital so I can actually see what it's actually reading, as well as with the coolant temp. And I actually need to find another fuel gauge because my S13 needs one. So now we don't know if we actually put the needle back in the right spot. So what we're going to do is throw this piece back on because we can still access the needle. So now what we're going to do is throw this back in the car with this plastic off, plug everything in, start it up, make sure that the RPMs are reading correctly. This car idles around 1100 RPM. So I just got to make sure that at idle it's close to 1100 RPM. And if it's not correct, then we can just pull the needle out and then readjust it, put it back in, test that, and just keep doing that till we get it correct. So now I got the car running, I put everything back together. So now you can see it's staying steady at 1,000. Revs up, goes back down. So it's been working great like this for about half a week, maybe a little bit longer. So I think it's safe to say the problem is fixed. I saw some videos of people actually desoldering all of the pins on the board and then resoldering them. That's something that I would do next if cleaning all that crap didn't fix it, but it is going to be something that's very tedious. So hopefully if you guys are having this issue, so you could just do the same thing that I did. If not, then you'll have to desolder and resolder everything, and if you can't do that, then probably just look for one that you can just buy. So that's where I'm going to end this video. Please, please, please don't try to clean the stuff. I know it's probably self-explanatory, little gauges. If you do try to clean your gauges, don't use any liquid at all, just to be safe. Don't be like me. That was really dumb. I shouldn't have done that, but I did it, and then I had to buy another one. That's on me for sure. Check out some of my other videos. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.